starts on the 28th and it goes for 3 months. So this is the registration form. I'm going to share a link to this page so that you can go through it. So Abdul Basit, I remember we were once talking about your program. I don't know if you're on the call, yeah? When we were talking about your program, Abdul Basit, yes, you're here. So this was the program I'm talking about, the core commit program.
Yes, I'm actually outside, so I can't talk much for now.
Okay. So the overview, I've said it is a 3 month program. The first cohort is from the first to is from the first cohort from first this from first October 24th to January 31st. So during this time, Core will select 10 developer teams to help them build their applications. So they will receive support from the foundations, the DevRel, and venture teams, and their reward based on their monthly performance. So if you have your application, submit before the 14th of November. Then starting on the 28th, you will receive your 2,500 worth of core tokens per month. So it depends on your performance and the progress. So I believe the core team is going to be in charge of evaluating performance and the team progress. The pool price is 75,000 US dollars, and the 25,000 will be divided, 75,000 will be divided across 3 months, which is 25,000, and across 10 teams, which is 2,500 each. So at the end of the program, teams that have completed the development of their projects, they will have a chance to showcase this project during the demo day. So the eligibility for reward, you must meet the following criteria. Your project must be open source. It must be detailed. It must be a detailed project. Okay, you must explain your plan. So it's not just to rush and apply. You will explain your plan in details about the process of how we are going to execute it and the timeline. Then they will check your commits. That's the work of the proof of work. Then why apply? So you can apply it to the main reason of application. You can use it to earn rewards. It supports your growth, guidance, and so Daniel. I don't know if you just wrap up what I've been saying. Maybe you add something else for us.
Okay. GM guys. I think you've gone through the document itself already, which is very, very explicable. So yeah, basically the core commits program here, it's a program that aims to allow developers to build and deploy on core blockchain, which allows them to earn $2,500 monthly plus mentorship, Web3 mentorship, right? So you'll be mentored on different skills in Web3 marketing, how to scale this product you're building, right? So it's not just like any hackathon that you just come and build product. Okay, you know how this hackathon product goes now, right? People just build products and after the hackathon they win the money and go away. No, this is not what we're after with Core Commit. We want a situation where products will be built during this period and then they will be groomed till they scale to mainnet phase, to full operation. They become full dApps that people use, right? So this goes to say that when you're building your own product, try as well to make sure you are solving a real-time problem, right? So lately, there have been a lot of talks about real world assets, right? I don't know. I have a team also which hopefully will be participating in the core commit. So we are mostly looking at that aspect, right? Real world assets. So we want to address real time challenges. Okay. So when you're building your own product, think of a real solution, solve a real problem. Okay. Yeah, so basically that's it for the core commit program. So yeah, Aji.
Okay, the core commit program going live, and that's wonderful. So if you have any questions, if you have any area you need clarification, so I can add to it about it, we can answer your questions. So we'll be taking questions about the core curriculum at the moment.
Yeah, and also, if you do apply, please inform us. Okay, I don't know, Aji, should we do a form or something like that? Maybe we should do a form where anybody that applies, you will just. But no, that would be too stressful then.
Oh,
What?
it's cool. Be nice. You have a Google form. When you apply, you submit your name and your project that you apply. Yeah, that will make sense.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think, yeah, but let's do it after the application. I
Yes,
don't
that would
know
be
if.
like end of the application. Then we just submit the form, and if you apply, you put your name down and the name of your project. Yeah, that will do.
All right. So, questions now. If you have any question, you're welcome. I think I just saw Wycliffe walked in. What's up, Wycliffe?
GM Wycliffe. Okay, so I think since there are no talks, I think we'll discuss about we'll make it our duty every week to share a little technical hands-on session since it's a technical session. And last week we spoke about interfaces, yeah? Okay, that was 2 weeks ago. So who remember interfaces? Hmm, nobody. Daniel. So I'm trying to look for the link to the gist I shared last time. So I can just then I resume sharing my screen. Okay, good. I've seen it. Okay. Mm. So today, I think we'll just talk about inter-contract interaction. That's just so you don't really need to put everything in one contract. You can always have a contract and
Are you sharing your
interact.
screen? Are you sharing your
Not
screen?
yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Yeah, I'm trying to share it now. So, yep. Okay, so you can see my screen. So, last time we worked with this contract here. We're talking about interfaces and
Can't
what
see
I
your
said about
screen.
it.
I can't
So,
see your screen. Can't see your screen.
okay, I'm coming. Let me see.
I don't know if anybody else
If
is
you
seeing
can,
his screen.
can you see my screen, please? Someone should see because I can see my screen. Daniel,
It's
till now
okay.
you can't see.
Boss,
I
you
can
see
see
your
your screen.
screen.
Uh-uh.
What do you mean you can see your screen?
No, but did you see my screen when I was reading the document?
Yes.
So, okay, I'm coming. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah. Great.
I'm on remix.
Yes. Remix.
What do I mean? I can see my screen, Daniel. Okay, so we're working on this contract. I remember last time. So let me just portray what it does. I don't know if Wycliffe, you remember this contract? So we're just going to talk about intercontract interaction. And intercontract interaction, it's simple. It's when you interact with a contract from a different contract, and we use interfaces to do that. Then, so we had the count function in a previous contract, and we have another contract that we use to increment this count. So I think today I'll explain it furthermore. So we have our pragma solidity and the license identifier, which always is at the top of a contract. Okay, let me increase the size of it. So we have we
So
have
I think
yeah.
your I don't know if it's network challenge, but your screen, I don't know. I'm guessing you're on a development page, right? Like on
Yeah,
a contract page. Okay, but
yeah.
it's just static on the Remix landing page.
Oh, what's wrong? I'm coming. I
I
think I
think it's
already
network,
have to. Let me
or
come.
maybe you
Let me
refresh your
stop.
network.
Let me stop sharing. Then let me share screen again. I'm coming. I don't know why it's. I don't. I'm coming. I don't understand. But then I could share it. Okay, screen one. Okay. How about now? Can you see my screen now, Daniel? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see
Yes,
your
I can
screen.
see your
Sorry, I was.
screen.
Okay, you can see my screen now.
Uh-huh. So I'm seeing your live works now. Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, okay, okay. So
Amazing,
I said
amazing.
you can see it now. So I was talking about this contract we were working on last time around, the counter contract. So I know it's just a counter contract, but the major thing we're looking at is the interfaces, and I just want us to reiterate on it. So what interfaces allows us to do is to do contract interactions, inter-contract interactions. It's just like we can have you can have functions in a different contract that you want to interact with from another contract. So like in this contract, for example, we have the increment, we have a public variable that is count. So we can always work with it. We can always add the function, let's say decrement. Okay, let's make it an external function, and what should happen here? We just do count minus equal to 0. So let me put a buffer here so that we're not run into errors. So we can just count require count should be greater than or equal to 0. Can't decrement further. So yeah, okay. So we have two functions now, the increment count. So increment count adds 1 to count, and the second function reduces 1. I went and inserted 0. So I think that's that. So we all understand the concept of a require statement. Is there anybody that finds a require statement confusing? Yeah. Okay, nobody then. So good. So now the interface now, what the interface always holds, the interface holds the function signature of the contract containing the functions we want to implement, just the signature, nothing more. And the signature, always the contract signature is just this first line, everything that's always on top, whether the name of the function, if it has parameters, the parameters, if it returns a value, what it returns. That's what we use to describe the contract signature. Like for example, you see count. Count is external, it's a view function, and it returns a number because count from here it's you in 256, and in Solidity, remember, anytime you make a variable public, then it returns it's set and Solidity sets a getter function for it. Once you name any function public, Solidity automatically creates a getter function for it so that you can be able to call it. So it's simple. Without this interface here, this contract here will not be able to interact with the the counter contract, because what this contract does is simple. It increments counter and it gets counter all from the counter function. But let me add another function so that so that it decrements decrect. Then we do decrement so that we can just be it once dot decrement. Yeah, so that will be like this. So I'm going to explain what happens here. So this is a contract. The contract has only just three functions, and what this increment counter is okay. So it asks for the address. There's another way we can go around this. We can use a constructor. So what the constructor will take is to take an address. Let's call it counter. Counter. Take an address counter, and in the address it will set counter. Counter should be equals to I think counter like this, but we don't have counter, so we're going to give me a minute. I'm trying to fix something here. So we have an address counter, I guess. So just editing this. So I counter, then it becomes I counter. Yes, so that we wouldn't need this always. Then I can take it out like this. Wouldn't need all this. So let's compile this. Let's put it on auto compile. So let me deploy this. What am I deploying? Counter. So you see, okay, the counter has the increment. If you check count is 1. Let's decrement, count is 0. Good. So let's copy this address. We use it and deploy. I just want to check something first. Increment. Count is 1. Okay, good. I'm all good. Here it's working. So what I did was I set a state variable counter. So what this counter is going to do is going to hold the address of the contract we want to interact with, because we want to interact from my contract here. I want to interact with the counter contract. I hope I'm not alone on the call. Are there people with me?
Sure, I'm with you, bro.
Okay. So good. So we set a state variable address of the contract we want to interact with, and we pass the address in the constructor. In Solidity, a constructor is like a function that runs on deployment. So anytime you deploy your contract, the constructor runs. And what happens in the constructor is simple. In the constructor, we send counter to the address passed as a parameter, just like I did on deployment. So I'll take you through it again. Let's deploy another one so that you can understand what I'm saying. So if you check here, in our deployment space, we have two contracts here and one interface. So an interface is not a contract, it just houses functions that we use to interact with in another contract. So our counter contract, again, let me reiterate, this is our counter contract here, has a public state count, which is the variable we want to be interacting with throughout. And when you call on the increment function, what it does is it adds 1 to count. When you call on decrement, it subtracts 1 from count. So what we want to do is we want to be able to increment this value of count in the counter contract from my contract. So we're going to call a function in my contract. So when we call the increment count, it's going to come and call this increment here, because if you notice, you see, it's going to use the interface I counter, that's this interface here, I counter, at the address of counter, that's the interface of the contract at the contract address dot the name of the function we want to call. And if the function takes in argument, you pass in the argument. I don't know if I'm making clear sense. So that's what it does. So let's say, for instance, let's say it does. Let's say units. Let's pass in 5. Okay, no, unit gap. Let me use gap. So gap is going to say by how many we want to increment it. Let's say 5. Okay, and gap, let's say plus equal to 5. Good. So let me use it here like this. Let me use it like this. So
I think you should also clarify that you see so we might be having on the audience new developers, because they might be wondering, they are seeing uint 256 and uint alone. So you can't just tell them that when it's set to uint alone, it's a default size to 256 bit.
okay, yes. When you see uint, I was hoping we have more seasoned developers, but uint is the data size of the unsigned integer. So the unsigned integer, I think, starts from -2 raised to the power minus what's the maximum size? 2 raised to the power 256 minus 1. Yes. Yeah, so let me know. But we have the uint size from uint 8, uint 16, uint 32, and all of them are for different sizes of unsigned integer. And when you don't define the number, once you leave it as uint, then it sets it to the default as uint 256. Wyclef, I'm very grateful for the correction. Thank you very much. So now let's say the function you want to call takes in an argument. In this case, I've added gap. So when I come here, instead now I can do increment, I'll have to add the gap. I have to specify the gap. Let's say each time I call the increment, I want it to add it by 10. What is it saying? But okay, I'm coming. Why hasn't it seen it? I'm coming, yeah. It's supposed to. Okay. Here, I have to add it. You see, you have to add it to the. You have to add the function signature. You have to add it to the signature. You see, immediately I added it, it underlined it. It's now telling me that wrong argument count 1 is expected. So the gap on increment should be 10. Then on decrement, let's make it 5. So we can come back, and this is the blockchain. If you come back, you always redeploy. So first deploy our counter so that we can have the contract we want to interact with. Then we copy the contract address so that my contract know who is interacting with, so that on deployment we can set that address. And once we deploy it and we come now, so let me show you what I mean. You see here now there are two different contracts. We have the counter contract and we have the my contract. So once you get count is 0 here. You click on get count here, it returns 0. But see the funny thing now. Okay, this one is asking for the gap. Let's increment it by 5. Let's increment it by 5 now. Good. By the time you get count now, you see count is 5. It's getting access to this contract. So by the time you increment count, remember we are incrementing it by 10. By the time I check count here, what do you think I'll get? You see, I get 15. So this is just a simple contract interaction, interacting with the counter contract from my contract. So I don't know if there's any question so that I can let me shed more light. Mm, are we together? Daniel, am I the only one on the call?
Hey,
Yes.
sorry, I'm with you. I'm with you. Just
Not
perfect.
the only one.
Okay,
Sorry, not the
so
only one.
if there's any question, I think I'll take it now. We'll take it now, or else I can just I'm going to share a link to the what we did today. And okay, I need to stop sharing my screen. Stop sharing.
Sorry,
So
I have.
yes, sir.
Can I go on or after?
No, you can go on if you have
After
a
I speak,
question, please.
should I go after? Oh, actually, the question I have is not. It's not a question. It's just like a contribution. Though I'm not into technical aspects. So, though I came this through what I just had is when you were explaining one or two. What I just want to ask is concerning this core commit. Is there any like maybe any plan from the core DAO Africa Builder this thing, Builder Telegram group? Is there any plan on how we can take part of the core commit program? Is there any plan?
Not at the moment,
Do you
but
understand?
that's a wonderful suggestion. Daniel, that's a wonderful suggestion. We can come and pull ourselves into teams and brainstorm and get ideas and apply as a team. That's an excellent one. Daniel, do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah. So
So,
yeah, that would be great. Something we can do. Something we can do. But if I really understand your question, are you asking if you can participate in the core commit program? If you're asking, yes, you can. Of course, the link is there. You can form group anyhow you want it and participate.
so I'm not into developer space, so I'm not into technical space, so I can't really come up with the idea of this thing. But the only thing I can just do is just to let me say, I'm into non-technical aspects, which is like all this community related stuff, bringing awareness. So the only thing I feel now, which is one of the plans I have on ground now is to host a space on Twitter whereby Aji and you will be the co-host. So you two are going to talk about the core commit. So from there, we might let me say we might tell people to come and join us at the core Africa Builder Telegram group. From there, we can start forming team from there. Even though I'm not into technical aspect, but there's an idea at least that we can use and bring together people that are into technical aspect, and from there we can start doing something. And we don't know something good can come out. Yeah, something to say.
So yes, so this is a very beautiful idea,
What do you
right?
say?
Please, yes, I say it's a very beautiful idea. Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you.
All right. So I say it's a beautiful idea. Let's do it, please. Okay, maybe you create the space. You let us know when we do the adverts and all that. We'll join and talk about it, of course.
So my plan also, and there's this one I did on base because I actually joined some Twitter for of all these base guys that they did some hackathon whereby they said that 30K dollars, whatever. So me, I don't know, maybe at least let's say like we are doing it, though we are doing it on Telegram, but where the major focus should be is like more of like let's say on Twitter. Whereby you see, that's where we see where builders are, different builders. So me, I'll just be like, let me say, I'll be doing more spaces, but I don't know, maybe when you have chance to come, maybe like, let's say, you can do like, let's say, twice in a week or 3 times, just to make sure people are aware of it. And then we can see people that have built something on base because the base one was like, you submit, it's not everybody that will get fit. So we don't know from the awareness that I might see someone that did something nice on base, it's EVM compatible related stuff, so we can bring it to core. It's just that what I just want to understand is that maybe when you be chance, maybe at least like you be chance during this so time to this time, just to be
I am
aware, okay, this is where how we can.
I am always chanced, right? So
Alright, so
can you hear me?
I can hear, I can hear, I can hear, I can hear you.
Yeah, so just create the
So,
space and let me know. Okay, I will create time for it.
okay,
Aji, if I don't create time, Aji will.
okay,
Two of us, we can always do it.
because I'll
Yeah, I
make
think
sure,
that's this
I'll make sure that
idea, and I believe we are going to really take it up so that we'll talk on the corporate commit program. It's a wonderful one, and we're going to work on that. Definitely going to work on that. So yeah,
okay,
I
thank you
think
very much.
yeah. So I think in the
But,
absence of
but
anything, okay.
yes. So I also ask, is there like now, let's say if you that are into non-technical aspects, let's say marketing and so on, what are the things that we can engage in this core commits program? Because I also understand that because you said that it's not open to only developers. I don't know how for marketing, like you that are into marketing or this community related stuff, how can we engage in this if no other than maybe open space to bring awareness? Anything like that.
Okay, can you hear me, DeFi? So
I
with
can
this,
hear, I
right?
can hear.
Yes, if you have guys who are developers around you, okay, you can join them. You can, as a Web3 marketer, you can join them, and when their product, when they have their MVP, okay, you can be the one to be pushing for the publicity, to be doing the marketing for them. So Web3 marketing is a big thing in Web3, okay. Yeah, you can be part of a team and you will be their social media person. I see you're doing well on the Twitter space, your X spaces. So, of course,
Okay. That means as I'm a non-technical person, I can team up with people that are technical people at this. I can team
very
up with
well,
them.
very
Okay,
well.
but the problem is that the developer that me I know mostly, they are not into um all these crypto language. There's even a guy that I met recently. The guy was telling me that he does not know where to start from. But although I talked to the guy that this, but I don't know, maybe when he joins him with you, maybe there's a way you can, because the guy just started coming to crypto. What he knows about is all these JS, JavaScript, and
So,
so on. He knows for
so
recently. Eh?
let him join our group. Let him join the builders group.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, sir. I will get in
you're
touch
welcome.
with you and Ajis. Now it's to go. Thank you.
Yeah. So, is there any
Okay,
question, guys, before we continue?
well, we passed our time. So if there's no question, Daniel, I think we can call it a day because we
Yes.
are way past our time here today. And I want to
Yeah.
appreciate everyone that joined. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you next week, Friday again, the same time. Yeah. So for me, it's thank you very much and have a good weekend.
Yes. Goodbye, guys.